music make me sing. Jump in the ride, go to the landmark. Jump out the ride, break out once more. Hit it right, Lord, hit it right. That is the over to the fight. Hit it right, Lord, hit it right. Hit it right, Lord. Last night you got to a party, come back with a hickey. You say mosquito do that. Conchita, that ain't no mosquito. It was something bigger, yeah, like a rat. Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Why you acting so uptight? Baby, I've been loving you so long, loving you so strong. Now I'm wondering if someone has been in the cookie jar, plucking on my guitar and pop the G string. Something just ain't right. It ain't right. Why you acting so uptight? Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. She gone out to a party last night. She come back with a big kicking bite. She said mosquito do that. Frankly, my dear, it looked more like a bat. A vampire bat. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. No, something why you acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, Lord. It ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, Lord. It ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Why you acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. Baby, just slipping and sliding, peeping and hiding. Baby, please don't clean. Baby, I'm gonna get pocket. No time for skylocking. You know what I mean. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something why you acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. You gone out to a party last night. You come back with a big kick bite. You say you mosquito do that. Really, my dear, it looks like a bat. I'm on fire, bat. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, no. It ain't right. Oh, no, something that ain't no mosquito. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, no. Oh, no, something that ain't no. That ain't no mosquito bite.
From Carmichael Road to Shirley Street, this is Global 99.5.
KB and Sting, coming with the Bahamian team. Come on. Woo. Oh, yeah. Yes. I's a Bahamian, hair and born and bred. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I dead. I's a Bahamian, and I always late. If you want me here by 9, better tell me come 8. See, I's a Bahamian, and I don't like say it. Nobody gonna spend my money when I go to my grave. Yes, I's a Bahamian, don't wanna make no fuss. But if you we know, but outside tell you, you was one of us. Like Andrews grabbing though, don't act like you don't know, you know. Man, you know. Oh, man, you know. How Bahamian go. How they go, how they go, how they go. Oh, don't you know? Man, you know. Yes, man, you know. How Bahamian go. How they go, how they go, how they go. Let's go. So proud to be Bahamian. Yes, I know I can join you. How Bahamian go now. Watch this. See, I's a Bahamian. I love to compete. But when my side lose, I say they cheat. See, I's a Bahamian. And I like the Finns. I like the Lakers too, but only when they win. I's a Bahamian. Shopping is a thing. Go Miami for 2 days, come back talking with slang. See, I's a Bahamian. I come with a price. You say you want my vote, better treat me right. The Papa go Conky Joe. Oh, how I love them so they know. Yes! How Bahamian go. Oh, yeah, they know. How my people go. Yo! They know. They know, cause I know that they know how my people go. Ah, yeah. Deal it. Come on. Check this. I's a Bahamian. Love to join a suit. But if you let me get first draw, but I'm sorry for you. See, I's a Bahamian. I love to complain. When something ain't going right, the government I blame. Like dancing the heel and toe. Don't act like you don't know, you know. How Bahamian go. Don't act like you don't know. How our people go. Oh, shit. Let's go. All right, listen here. Sting. They know how Bahamians go. Down the road. Let's go, come on. I's a Bahamian. I ain't got too much. But when it come Christmas time, I got a rush. See, I's a Bahamian. Red or roll or Kelly. Could be black or white. Sting all up in your belly. Come on. That they got too much light. They do that night, you know. Yes. How my people go. Oh, yeah, you know. You know how Bahamians go. Yeah, you know. You know how my people go. Yeah, you know how Bahamians go. You know. Yes, how Bahamians go. How they go. Yeah, you know. How the stingers go. Yes. How my people go. Yeah, you know. Deal it. I just love my Bahamian people. Sting all in your belly. Come on. Oh, you know how Bahamians go. How they go. Bahamian culture.
Fellas, let me get out now. And while I go on, I want no raking and scraping in here.
No, mama, we ain't gonna rake and scrape. We can clean the house just like you say. That's right? Yeah, that's right, mama. We rake and scrape.
All right now.
Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Hey, you don't care what mama don't like, gonna rake and scrape it anyhow. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Now mama don't know that we are up. I ain't talking about the way she took rake and scrape that's pumping through our veins. We can rate that she go out. We're gonna rake and scrape inside the stuff. Scare off the neighbors, scream and shout. As soon as mama got to the door, turn around and said, "Oh, raking and scraping, I'll be back after 4. Rock on the wall, say after 9. Say, fellas, all we got is time. Not knowing what mama had in mind. Mama don't want no raking and scraping in here. Mama don't want no raking and scraping in here. We don't care what mama don't like, no raking and scraping anyhow. Mama don't like no raking and scraping in here. Now mama walk around the block, we thinking she's on the bus stop, listening hard from the neighbor's yard. Just as we start to hit a lip, she busts inside. Didn't think you slick, run back and stop across my lips. Oh, mama say, boys, I ain't gonna lie, from afar you never sung and tight. Let me show you a dance from way back in the day. When mama started to kill the road, the fellas thought she was freaking out. Pick that rhythm, nasty dough, boys. Oh, Uncle friend, you're walking down the road. When they die down the road, and you are that road, you can stay when you go. How much you love this breaking and scraping in here? How much you love this breaking and scraping in here? You don't care about the people say you're gonna rake and scrape it anyway. How much you love this breaking and scraping in here? How much you love this breaking and scraping in here? How much you love this breaking and scraping in here? She don't care about the people say she's gonna rake and scrape it anyway. How much you love this breaking and scraping in here?
Boy, you look good, you know.
Yeah, Mama. You like this, Mama?
I like it. You look good like your
You
pa.
dancing, Mama? You can't believe this.
I mean, your pa gonna roast, he's gonna roast, he's gonna kill roasting me.
Number one for R&B.
Oh my God.
Global Radio.
Of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Ladera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do apologize for the late start. Traffic out there is ridiculous. But we're here for another Masterclass Monday, and we are going to be talking to Professor Sidney Walter Thompson, as we do every Monday in these parts, about the Constitution of the Bahamas. So here's how you can get in on this discussion. The telephone numbers to call: 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, WhatsApp line for text messages and calls: 8010271, 8010271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Also streaming live on YouTube on our official channels. And speaking of channels, you can reach us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. You can also download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device. And of course, we're on radio. 99.5 FM is the place you'll find us here in New Providence. And I would like to say welcome to all of our listeners from Grand Bahama. So now that we've established all of that, let's get Professor Thompson. There we go, Professor. You gotta be on there now. You gotta look this way. Welcome back. Welcome back. We had a little break there with independence celebrations.
Yes, ma'am.
I trust you had some wonderful time celebrating.
Well, yes, and good afternoon, Bahamas. It's good to be here again on Mondays. Well, of course, you know, Mondays is Constitution Day.
Absolutely.
And we discuss issues relating to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I've heard many comments being made by different persons, and apparently the Bahamian people went out in grand style to the games to celebrate, and that was a good thing that they did that. I'm happy to see that Bahamians are taking a more active interest in national issues, and that is a good thing, but there are some things that have been overlooked for 50 years, and I'm going to throw out two questions to the Bahamian people. I want them to think about it very seriously, because we have some challenges that have not been met. In fact, the Constitution says no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their lives frustrated by deprivation. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their labor exploited. And I asked some people in my area whether they thought that those things were fulfilled over the last 50 years. And the answer is no.
Okay.
Do you mean to tell me in 2023 we have modern day slavery in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Do we?
That's a good question. We can answer that from the Constitution. The Constitution will tell you whether that is so. What major national problems has the government of the Bahamas solved on behalf of the Bahamian people over the last 50 years of independence? And here are the benefits that come to the Bahamian people as a result of these major national problems having been solved. That's the first question. The second one is this. What major constituency problems have been solved by the representative of each of the 39 constituencies over the last 50 years in an independent nation? And here are the clear-cut benefits that come to the constituents in each of these constituencies as a result of these major constituency problems having been solved. I want to make people to think about that very seriously, because you need to ask ourselves some very hard questions. And those are the two questions I put out there, and I will continue to put them out there. We need to find out what is happening. Are we solving constituency problems? Are we solving national problems? Are the lives of the Bahamian people being improved tremendously as a result of independence? These are things we need to look at and understand. We've already had a couple of murders since the 10th of July. And Bahamians is very scary because we have such lawlessness. I heard Sandra Dean Patterson talking about the rapes. Look at the murders.
Yeah.
The murders are extremely high, 61 so far for this year. And we are in the month of July. We already have 61 for a small country like the Bahamas. And many of the larger nations do not have per capita the large volume of murders that we experience in a small country like the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Something is seriously wrong with that picture. And I've heard the authorities talking about decrease in criminal activity. While those things may look good on paper, when you look at the harsh reality, people are dying in this country, not only from killings and murders, and basically a lot of people being shot to death. And people are on bail for criminal activity. And we always hear the same story. They have been electronically monitored. I asked a senior police officer, we have a lot of people coming around in a given community. They don't live there, wearing ankle bracelets. What protection do you have for the residents of that community? Because we heard something happened in Vauxhall.
Right.
And this person was supposedly being electronically monitored. That means nothing to the average Bahamian. When you have a person like that in your bed, you don't even know. You could be shot to death accidentally.
Been in the wrong place at the wrong
Been
time.
in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so what protection does the citizenry have? Because this senior police officer told me, the court had been done. Well, where's my protection? And now these people wandering all over the place. They're not restricted to their homes or where they're supposed to be living. They're all over the place. So you don't know when something untoward is going to happen. And I've seen some strange faces in my area. I know they don't live there. I know everybody who lives there in my area.
Right.
But you see a lot of strange faces wearing ankle bracelets, hanging around in your area. And you have to ask what's going on. But the thing is that after the celebration, now we have to sit and discuss where do we go as people. Now, let me just say this before I start. Not a single word was mentioned about the Constitution of the Commonwealth and all the celebrations they were having.
Right.
I had all kind of crappy things. But nothing about the supreme law. How are you going to build a nation? We had one child, 16 years old, on another radio station yesterday, and the station kept cutting in and cutting out, cutting in, cutting out. And the child must have been given something that she was told to repeat, because she could not give a sensible, reasonable explanation as to what happened over the last 50 years. And the host of the show answered 10 specific questions. And every time you heard her say, I think. What is it based on?
How old the child was?
16. What could she tell Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson what he does not already know over the last 50 years? But I listened with interest. I didn't quite hear everything she said because the audio from the station was so bad, and this is supposed to be one of the top stations in the country. And they should have had their technical team pick up on that right away and get it straightened out, but that didn't happen. But it seemed to me as if she was being coaxed to say something things. I think look at this 16-year-old child now. A tough veteran like me, who's seen everything about, and she was asked about the next 50 years. But you're only 16. Some of them getting.
Well, I guess, it's always interesting to see how the future generation is thinking.
But see, Malcolm, if they're not taught, if they're not properly taught, the girl knows nothing about the Constitution.
Not surprising.
And, I was not surprised at that. We got this big fracas down in Grand Bahama. between the government of the day and the Port Authority. And the government would say, you owe us some money. And they say, we owe you no money. Prove it. What kind of nonsense is this? Some almost 70 years. And they are now supposed to come together to do something with people of Grand Bahama. And not all of Grand Bahama, just a section of Grand Bahama. So what happened to the other people in Grand Bahama? Why is the government not using their constitutional authority to protect the interests of the people of Grand Bahama? I heard all kinds of talk from persons who own businesses in this, and the people of Grand Bahama are just sitting there. They haven't organized themselves to do anything. I remember there was one particular person who tried to help, but the people of Grand Bahama didn't stand with this person. This person is now deceased. He wanted to run in a general election, the last one we had, but he didn't make it. All I'm simply saying is that people need to know their constitution. That is the supreme law of the land. You row and carry on with this one say, with that one say, with the next one say. That's crap. We don't need that. Let us deal with the supreme law of the land if we're going to build a country. Not what I think. I mean, what is this? Let me give a simple example. The Constitution says one thing that the government of Bahamas has not done, a national commitment to self-discipline. See, even the government itself is not disciplined. The Constitution said one of the pillars the nation is to be built on a national commitment to self-discipline. That has never been dealt with by the authorities for 50 years. Nothing. Just out of skelter. You write a piece of crap on a piece of paper and say this is what we can do. That's not the way to run the country. There are some specific things that we ought to be doing. And I listen to these things, but I don't hear them. Even for those who want to run the country. Not a single word about the Constitution. Yet they're telling me they want to run the country. Run it on what? What is the standard? What is the procedure? How are you going to govern the nation? That's why everything is so helter-skelter. Because we don't run things according to the Constitution. And this problem now, Article 6 of your Constitution, where the government of the Bahamas, having all of these trained personalities, I think they call themselves KC. I don't know about that much, but I know some people were QC and some other C's were bad. Over 50 years. A simple one-sentence article 6 of your Constitution. The government of Bahamas, the Attorney General's office, the Parliament of Bahamas, the Cabinet of Bahamas didn't get it right in 50 years. And there's some other things that the Constitution they didn't get right. You just ain't seen nothing yet. Just hang around a little bit longer. So we have had some major deficiencies by the Cabinet Office, by the Parliament of the Bahamas, by the Attorney General's Office, and other agencies of the state, to the disadvantage of the Bahamian people. These are the things the Bahamian people need to look at very seriously, because we will have a repeat of all that crap for the next 50 years if we don't catch it now. We're 7 days into it. This is a full week now since we started 51st year. But we have a lot of work to do. And the major problem that we have in our Constitution, which has contributed to our downfall as a nation, is a lack of understanding of the supreme law of the land. Even the so-called educated persons don't know the Constitution. Just listen to the crap they run on with. They themselves are not properly educated, cannot explain in simple, basic, fundamental language. No wonder why the younger people are so confused. So when you listen to them, they're only telling you what someone told them something. It's not something that they really researched, studied, and get solid information, which they could rely and depend on. The Constitution is that.
But who's to blame for that, though? Because, yes, it should be taught in the schools. Yes.
Don't wait for that.
Exactly. They don't have to wait for it. That's my point. They don't have to wait for it.
The Constitution of the Bahamas is right online. Anybody that has a smart device, internet access, could go online, type the Constitution of the Bahamas. It pops right up in PDF form. You can download it to your phone, download it to your smart device, have it right there in your hand. So whose fault is it? Especially these young people who call themselves activists.
Yeah, they call themselves activists. Yeah.
Whose fault it is? They don't know.
Let me look at it. Let me put this point in there. When I look at the average Bahamian in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas struggling to get a plate of food today,
right,
to go feed them hungry children,
mm-hmm.
What has to be done to help those people, and they're in the thousands, who are struggling every day to try to make ends meet? And I'm not using that as an excuse for them.
Right.
I am simply saying that we have a depressed people. They're not like Professor Thompson, I'll rise up and fight you. But there's only one. I wish we had 150,000 like me. Then this crap would be up today won't happen. That's why I'm here Mondays to help the Bahamian people, because I need 150,000 like me who know the Constitution and could tell the Minister of Immigration, you are wrong. Bring your proof. Let us see the evidence from the Constitution, how you made this dead man a citizen of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, how you made his wife a citizen of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, and 2 young children who are not of age a citizen. All these are Haitian people. And then you look at the Nationality Act, everything revolves around the minister as the minister sees fit, as it satisfies the minister. You don't have that kind of nonsense in the Constitution. It's not there. There are specific timelines when it comes to each constitutional article, when it comes to citizenship. But then this fella could decide to make tomorrow money. He got 1,000 children out there, say I can make them citizens. Yeah, any crap like that?
Well, the Prime Minister say he can't. Say the Minister of Immigration can't make anybody a citizen. That's what he said the other day when he was asked by journalists about whether or not Bell would be made to resign. And he said briefly that the Minister of Immigration, and then the reporter said, well, you did hand out a citizenship, certificate. I still am not sure what the Prime Minister meant by that. Is he saying that the minister would have to get approval from cabinet before he makes a decision? He couldn't make the decision in isolation. I wasn't sure what he meant when he said that. But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, but then the point is the decision constitutionally sound?
I get your point. No matter whose decision it was it constitutionally sound?
That's the key.
Yeah.
It's not constitutionally sound. It never was and never will be constitutionally sound.
Well, it was him by himself or the cabinet or all together.
Because they've been messing up on Article 6 with the single fathers in this country for 50 years. The cabinet, the government of the Bahamas, the Parliament of the Bahamas, the Attorney General's office, with all the brains that they have, all the QCs they have, couldn't get it right, still can't get it right, not sure which direction they're going into. The Attorney General is saying that the man name on the piece of paper, he's the father. What kind of nonsense is that? Huh? And then if the father's name ain't on that piece of paper, we're looking at doing DNA evidence on him. What are we saying?
Lasers.
You see what I'm saying?
Playing games.
You can see by the behavior, and we've had problems with that personality in the office of Attorney General before. Ain't nothing has changed with him. Because he is trying to get the government of the Bahamas and encouraging the government of the Bahamas to bypass constitutional provisions which call for a referendum to change anything in the Constitution. Then you turn around and say, sue me if you don't like it. That's how diabolical this thing is. I don't blame him because we had problems with him before. I don't know why he's there, but then the person who does the appointment decides to appoint the person. Fine. But is he constitutionally sound? The answer is no. He is not. The minister's actions are not constitutionally sound. Tell him to show us what article in the Constitution he used to give those 4 people, including the dead man, citizenship in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Let's see the proof. Because, see, the Constitution is the supreme law, not the word of the Prime Minister, not the word of the Minister of Immigration. That means nothing. If they are not operating according to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and see, Bahamians, this is why you got to know the law. So you could tell the Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, you are dead wrong. You can tell the Minister of Immigration, as I could tell him now, he is dead wrong. He's not constitutionally sound. If he thinks he's man, show me from the Constitution that you're constitutionally sound.
Not if he think he's mad, though, Professor.
No, I'm saying that. I mean that. Because he hasn't brought any evidence. I'm challenging him. Show me from the Constitution. Tell me which article of the Constitution in the citizenship issue that you used. Because I check all of them with my team. We went over that over and over and over, and we've been doing this from that time. There is no hardcore constitutional evidence for what the minister did. Now, the Prime Minister will probably dance around and take it for him, but that's their thing.
That's true, yeah.
But the thing is it constitutionally sound? That's what our people need to understand. Do not wait for the Prime Minister to say, oh, it's okay, because I ain't waiting on that. We've been waiting for 50 years and ain't nothing happened yet.
Know for yourself.
You have to know for yourself. See, the single fathers, and let me say this while it's in my head. Single fathers, y'all need to organize yourself, You sat there for 50 years. You and your children and the government of Bahamas walked all over you. The parliament walked all over you. The cabinet walked all over you and treated you with contempt. And you sat right there and took the crap. 50 long years. You can tell me that's a mistake? That ain't no mistake. That's what they did. When the court told them what the law said and the Privy Council told them, follow the law, nothing was added, nothing was changed. One simple, straightforward sentence, one article, and the government of the Bahamas, the Parliament of the Bahamas, the Cabinet of the Bahamas, the Attorney General of the Bahamas could not get it right for 50 years. These are the hardcore facts that are staring you right in your face. Now it remains to be seen, but how many fathers are involved? How many children are involved? We don't know. We still don't know. So what are they dancing around for? Do you have the evidence? Do you have accurate record keeping? Does the Immigration Department have accurate record keeping?
Well,
X number of fathers.
that's a
X
very
number of
good
children?
question.
No, but we have to ask
You would
these
think they
questions.
do, but then again, they sometimes act like they don't. And especially when it comes to this whole question of illegal immigrants from the South. And here's what I mean by that.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I don't think it's a matter of them not having it. I just think that they think we're stupid.
But we have to show them that we are not.
I remember when they had an issue after Dorian, and the claim was, well, these people said their documents got lost in the storm. And I'm saying to myself, okay, so you didn't keep a copy of the documents of the Ministry of Immigration and the Department of Immigration? You gave them the documents and you ain't had no record as a record for the department somewhere on file?
Right.
So why you think you could insult my intelligence by telling me, well, there's nothing we could do because they lost their documents in the storm?
That's foolishness.
Absolute stupidity.
Yes.
So either You the most incompetent department in the world, or you think I stupid. And I know you got them records. You ain't that incompetent. So you think I stupid. That's the bottom line. But once again, we are finding a way to bend over backwards to accommodate these people.
Yes.
For whatever reason.
That's correct.
Because how you can come to me and tell me, well, there ain't nothing we could do because they lost all their papers in the storm. So you wasn't giving no papers? In them offices what you got? You ain't got no duplicate record? Why you think I stupid? Why you think you could tell me that foolishness? And I supposed to just accept that?
The Bahamian people need from this day forward, in this 51st year, on the 7th day of the 51st year, to challenge...
The 17th day?
No. 51st year. We're in our 51st year now.
Yeah.
This is the 7th day of that 51st year.
Oh, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. And the thing is, Bahamians got to wake up. You must question your representative.
Mm-hmm.
You must question the government. See, I don't believe anything they say. Because I have already proven from 50 years experience that their word is not credible. If you show me hardcore proof, fine. And it lines up with the Constitution, fine. I could work with that. Any kind of pamby talk that is not constitutionally sound, I don't accept that. We have to do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the country's all jack up. And people are lost. And people just keep saying, well, what can we do? Amos, there's a lot you can do. I just haven't had the time to really delve into all of that because there's a lot in this Constitution that need to be taught. Let me say, the Constitution is not an easy document to understand. While it may be on the internet, yes. While it is there for people to pull down, yes. Do they understand it? Because it's written in legal language. So the average person in Baintown, that woman who got them 5 boys, she's trying to cook dinner for the children.
Mm.
How is she going to understand that constitutional language if someone who knows better than her doesn't explain it in simple, basic, fundamental language for herself and her children? That's how they're going to know. That's why I come here, by the grace of God, to talk to the Bahamian people in simple, basic language with constitutionally sound information. And I challenge anyone who thinks there's man or woman out there. You say, like someone said in one, what you call that, text say, stand up and be a man. Identify yourself. Don't hide behind no text. If you think what you say is so, I'll challenge you. I'm prepared to take on the challenge, you know. But ain't no man or anything who think there's man or think there's woman has ever been able to challenge me in these many years I've been dealing with the Constitution. Not a living soul. Now, if they think they have something on Professor Thompson, come. If you think he was man, you think he was woman, come. They stay right there in the dark. So that tells you a lot about them. What I say publicly, I will not take it back unless you can prove to me from the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, Professor, you're wrong. Fine. I got no problem with that. Because we are subject to make mistakes. But I can tell you one thing. When I come on this radio station, or any other radio station for that matter, and I'm dealing with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, I have my ducks in a row. And I have my people thoroughly check information. And if I ain't sure, I say, now listen, I got to look at that myself before I even say anything publicly about it. Because people ask me a lot of questions, and I simply tell them that I'm not sure. I don't know that is so yet. I have to prove it.
Right.
But once you see me come on in and say it, that's it. They will have to prove from the Constitution, Professor Thompson, you're wrong. And if they could prove from the Constitution wrong, well, then fine. I got no problem with that. But don't stand around here thinking you're so perfect. You're not willing to admit error when you make an error. You're walking around here as if you're some big stuff. Stop lying and deceiving and misleading people. Stand up and speak the truth.
That's a good point for me to take a break, Professor. Yes, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. This is a masterclass Monday on the Constitution. My guest is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. And we're going to take this break. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin, mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. And this is a Masterclass Monday on the Constitution. And my guest this and every Monday is the Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, and we take a close look, bit by bit, line by line, at the Constitution of the Bahamas. The telephone numbers to call if you'd like to jump in: 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and the Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, like and share the show. And we're also streaming live to YouTube on our official channels. The telephone numbers to call, I already said, 3260271 or 801-0271 for the WhatsApp numbers. And you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device. Check us out there. And of course, we're on radio on Global 99.5 on the FM dial here in New Providence. A huge welcome to our Grand Bahama audience. And last but not least, you can catch us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. Okay. So, Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson back at the desk.
Yes, ma'am.
After a 2-week break because of the independence celebrations.
Yes, ma'am.
And prior to the independence celebrations, we were comparing the Bahamas Nationality Act to the Constitution of the Bahamas, which became necessary based on happenings within the community as it relates to trying to figure out what it is that the powers that be have been following, whether they've been following the Constitution or the Nationality Act, and then determining which of the two takes precedence. We have a caller on WhatsApp. Caller, welcome to GPS.
How you doing, Michelle and Professor?
Excellent.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
Good.
First of all, I like to say I appreciate what you're all doing because I've been edified a lot.
Good.
Thank you.
Happy to hear that.
Because plenty things, what you always said, due to the Constitution, I didn't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I knew a story and then I know.
I don't know what you did differently, but all of a sudden you sound
hurricane.
muted. Okay, that's better. Go ahead.
Yeah, my house got damaged real bad in the hurricane matter, right?
Right.
And I was going through a lot to try to get it back up with my family.
Mm-hmm.
But what disturbing is every time I go to the relevant department, because they keep moving you around, there's some other people there speaking. Well, you know what I mean. You all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And these people getting assisted like with everything, Michelle. Everything. What I talking about? From the wood, to plywood, windows, everything. And what they put me to, I literally had to sign, like, read stuff and put in, like submit stuff to the government. And I go in there every week. And these people just will send, the other set of people will just them in the back and get it. So how you think I feel?
Mm-hmm.
I go into the States and I had to buy supply, come back. They put tax on that, and Freeport would get devastated now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I had to get it. And I watching people. Now here's the trick. The people from here, the other set of people, when they get their supplies, they sending them to the islands. They docking the supplies they getting here from free and sending them to the islands.
Yes.
And people, people don't feel our frustration, like our frustration. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it is an equality between us and them, because I feel like we paying all of the taxes what the government talking about. If I fall sick, I gotta pay for the health. Look at the power bill was just going up here.
Yes.
You think you're getting crazy over that side? You need to check Freeport. Freeport. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I ain't even talking about unfair, because I talking about the leadership would know what they doing. They know what they doing, Michelle. I trying to call you to make you aware of what's going on this side. And it is a different treatment, because you have the person with way on the other side of me would clear on a piece of this and he billing this thing free. And I been mashed up from since the hurricane. That ain't nothing to smile and joke about, because I have a family, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I young, and I try to tell you, I think like how young my mind is be back and forward, you know what I mean? I telling you, I being real with you, because if I seen my leaders them doing wrong, and then the leader of the country backing him, let me tell you all something. You think you're gonna ever stop guns? Ever? You think you're gonna ever sit down and talk about young people ain't doing this? It's the government. We see what they're doing against them. There's no loyalty there. It's like what we do to make you feel how you feel against your own. You understand? And then for another person to stand up to call me lazy and we in this and we in that in my own country, you know how my mind's going. That's fighting words, man.
Yes.
And then y'all can look at, oh, the young people is this and that. Just how you have good, you have evil. If you could agree, you could disagree.
That's correct.
But if you can lead me, lead me properly, man. Lead me properly. You understand what I'm trying to say? Lead me properly, man. I can't get up my home and I watch another person home come up off the ground free. And I tired of saying I was a behemoth. I know what I is, man. Keith Bell. You think he should, I watch him in the House of Parliament. I'm looking at him, what he did. You think when he was a policeman, imagine what he did when he had the law behind him. Because look at what he doing, and he have the Prime Minister behind him. So I can sit back, and you think I can think dirty? I can think dirty. I can roll dirty. You understand what I'm trying to say? And whatever I can do dirty. You know what I'm saying? Don't kick me, punch me, and then stand on a podium and don't tell me sorry. Don't tell me sorry. And then look at me and think I'm stupid. And I see what another person do, and I see what you're doing for another set of people. You understand? I build my house the right way by working hard and stuff like that. I lose it. I'm begging. Right?
Yes.
But if you say you're going to assist me and you carry me through a process, I ain't even saying do the same for the people, but take care of your own, man. You ever see when a plane have an emergency landing? They take off their own first. Come on, man, and talk to the young people and be real with us, boy. We ain't got the patience for what we seeing. And I's one black behemoth, we ain't gonna roll over for no one. Believe what I saying. And as much of us, just as like they invading us, man. Taking my healthcare, light bill, this, everything free. Tired is tired, and I'm being real with y'all. And for the government, if you don't love me, step down. If you don't love behemoth, step down. That's as simple as that, man. You understand? But don't lie to me and stand on a pulpit and tell me whatever you saying is real. If you don't love me, walk away.
Wow.
That's all I saying, man. If you don't love me, walk away. It's only one set of people you should draw your attention to, man. It's Bahamians. I'm no middle class. I represent the poor, straight up. And if you don't have no love for me, step down, because there's more us than y'all. And I talk about no, I 100% letter Bahamian. I have no love or care for another side, only for my people. And especially when you come in here, you doing wrong, and then you gaining wealth, and then you turn around, and then you can SHIT on me, and you would tell me keep calm. Look at the police, the commissioner. Every day she on TV, she have no idea of what's going on out here. So that's the best she can do is come on TV. Nobody listening to that foolishness. And that's real talk.
Wow.
Wow.
I let him talk because
yes, no, that's important.
Because he ain't the only one who thinking like that.
That's right.
People frustrated, and rightfully so. And whereas generations past, you could have shoved any kind of crap down their throat and they call it chocolate. Them days over.
Those days are over.
These young people ain't on that run.
Yes. And I can understand the frustration of the gentleman. I've heard this on any number of talk shows. And I'm saying to the people, there is a way to deal with a representative who steps out of line.
Right.
That's one. There's a way to deal with a government that steps out of line. That's point number two. I can understand the frustration. And I'm going to tell the Bahamian people, even though the Constitution is online, it's all this legal language in there, the average person doesn't understand that. If someone who knows better doesn't help them, bring them along, and cause them to see that there's a better way to deal with issues, and I want him to take all that energy and that frustration he has, along with others, and turn it into positive. That's why I want him to, when I announce my number, for him to call me, because I like to talk to a person like that. We need to be well organized, as the Constitution says we ought to be. Article 24.1. That very last phrase, it didn't say leave it to the government of the day. It didn't say leave it to the MP today. No. It says you have the right to protect your interests. He has an interest to protect. He's frustrated. Others in his community are frustrated just like him. The question is, what are you going to do about this frustration? Are we just going to say it on the airways? Fine. I don't have a problem with that. Because a lot of people have been expressing this frustration. And only can go so far, then it's going to bust wide open.
Come closer to the mic for me, please.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It is going to bust wide open because you can see it building up. Knowing better than most people, my job is to teach them the proper way, the right way, take that frustration what you got and turn it into something positive.
Positive action that will get you the result that you want to get.
And he will be surprised to know what he can do and what those others in that community can do, others who think just like him. That's why I'm telling them now I need 150,000 just like me.
Right.
Because we will be able to bring the kind of change that is essential and necessary. Don't go the way of Sudan. Don't go the way of Haiti. They have over 200 and something years of bad experiences since they became a nation. Let me just say this while it's in my head, Ms. Malcolm. For 50 years, in spite of the pressure that has been put on the average Bahamian has had the ability, by the grace of God, to restrain himself from doing some things that would be very detrimental to the country. Because there have been those who've been pushing and pushing and pushing those persons who they believe they could take advantage of to carry them down the road to destruction. Bahamians, when you look and see what's happening in Sudan, that country is so ripped and torn apart. You got thousands now that are dead. Thousands. First it was 100, now it's thousands. And they're still fighting. All they're doing is breaking up the country. Who is going to suffer the most? Those very same people on the ground lose their fathers, lose their mothers, lose their children. Do you want that to happen in the Bahamas?
Because quite frankly, once the conflict is done and the country has been, all the infrastructure, whatever has been destroyed, then you are facing another problem.
A big problem, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what the people of Sudan are facing right now.
Yeah.
I am saying to the Bahamian people, see, they were experimenting with democracy, you know. When you lose that democratic system, like the one we have now in the Bahamas from 1729 straight through. Yes, we've had our share of problems. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying to the Bahamian people, we've had that stability for almost 300 years.
Right.
From 1729 right on through. And the last election, 2021, was the most peaceful, democratic election that the Bahamas has ever had in its history. 2021. I witnessed that. Even the leaves were not blowing. They sat still. People went about their business. Nobody was blowing no horn, carrying on bad. They went about their business. I watched the behavior of the Bahamian people. But there were some who were trying to get them to be violent. And good thing I had, I think it was 3 weeks on this radio station, to talk to the Bahamian people. And I appreciate management giving me that opportunity. Because I had to talk to the people. I had 3 weeks to get to them prior to the election. And I'm going to do it again too. The point is that there are some things, Bahamians, please listen to Professor Thompson carefully. There are things we can do to bring peaceful change in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. See, now some people can get too vexed. I get vexed too. Even with the way how the police do things, I get upset about that. I am saying to you, when you're trying to do something positive, you got the enemy right there trying to get you to do foolishness. And they could easily tip you over. Okay? So Bahamians, you need to have sober heads. And I always hear the police telling people to settle their differences. There ain't no settling no differences. How could people settle any difference if they don't know any better? They don't know any better. They've never been taught any better. The police officers don't come around and explain to the people in the community about law, statute law. They know nothing about no constitutional law. That's a dead head for them. I am saying statute laws that the people know nothing about. Throwing garbage in people's yard, smoking, drinking, loud music. I mean, they come right in front of your place and make noise.
Man, they can.
Huh? But you think the police care about that? When you call them and you tell them, they don't even show up.
Well, I suppose they don't show up because they figure they have more serious crimes to deal with.
That's a serious
than
crime.
to come and deal with somebody who's disturbing the peace.
You saw what happened with the man in Fox Hill.
Which man?
The last one who was murdered.
What happened?
He was out somewhere and he got into an altercation with somebody who was at that particular place. I think it was a restaurant or something.
A club, I think.
A club, yeah. Okay. See, the thing is, when people have an argument, the argument could get physical.
Right.
But I've seen people from the house into the yard, from the yard into the street, and you got a big fracas in the street where other people, other families living in the same area get involved in the fracas. And you got a big blow up. And the police does not come to assist law-abiding citizens in dealing with issues like that. They ignore you completely. Now let somebody chop off somebody's head or shoot them down on the ground and they're dead, then they come running. That's too late for that. That man lost his life. Not because he's wearing an ankle bracelet, he should be killed. They got this whole thing wrong. There's a way to deal with situations. You were supposed to have recourse through the system. But look like the system ain't working. You keep telling me about he's being electronically monitored. Everyone electronically monitored ends up being dead. What kind of electronic monitoring is that? That don't make any sense. And when law-abiding citizens call for assistance from the authorities, they never show up. That is a major problem with the police. Protecting citizens.
I just have
who are
to say this in
law-abiding.
defense of the police, though, because I had an incident a couple of nights ago. This young man, I think he must have been intoxicated. That's all I could say. Found his way in my yard, not in the street in front of my yard, in my yard, literally right outside my door. Cursing and carrying on incoherently, talking about he can rob this one and do the next. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? So I figured, okay, give him a couple of minutes and he'll leave. He was there for a good half hour. So I eventually said, I better call the police because I don't know what this idiot is going to do. I don't even know who it was.
Yes, ma'am.
I suspect the person was intoxicated. So I called the police. I said, listen, there's an intruder in my yard. He's literally right outside my door. I don't know what he's going to do. So they got the information. They said, where are you located? I gave them my location. And I don't know if the devil inside that fella must he say, boy, you better leave this open yard because the police are on the way. I know the devil tell him. But a couple of minutes after I called the police, all of a sudden he walked out the yard and he left.
Yeah.
So I called the police back to say, you don't have to come anymore. But apparently whoever they had dispatched didn't get the message.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed up in a relatively short space of time. So it's easy for us to say, well, the police ain't doing this and the police ain't doing that. Listen, man, I feel for them because they got so much on top of them that they dealing with. I've heard it time and time again. If we as a community, as a people knew what they were dealing with on a daily basis, some of us wouldn't come out of our house. I understand that's how bad it is out there. Now, obviously, they ain't reporting everything because they don't want to scare people into not leaving your house. But I've been advised, if y'all knew the level of criminality would go on in this country, some of y'all wouldn't come out your house.
Miss Malcolm, I hear all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were blessed to have them come. But there are areas in this country where they don't show up at all.
Mm.
Citizens in the area will call them law-abiding citizens, elderly citizens, young people, middle-aged people, will call them repeatedly, and they never, ever show up. That is a fact of life. I know that. That's not something I'm just saying because I could say it. I have hard evidence to show that it has happened.
Right.
And happened repeatedly. Okay? Now, if they cannot do the job, then tell us. Don't have me believing you could protect me knowing you can't. What kind of nonsense is that? You are thinking now you have the protection of the Royal Bahamas Police Force in your local community. And you see nothing happening. All kind of crappy things going on. People selling dope, organizing all kind of crappy things in the local community. Throwing garbage in people's yard, loud music, being a public nuisance, disturbing the peace. Ms. Malcolm, I could go on and on and on. And these things have been reported to the police. And they ain't reached yet. That's what I'm talking about. Now, they came in your incident. That's good for you. But that's no consolation to those who are bombarded every living day. The bedrooms are right to the front where the street is. And these people are there making all kind of crappy noise. You can't even sleep properly.
No, I have a problem with that in my area as well.
You see what I'm saying? So if the police is not able to assist you, Because I asked the man, I said, well, what is it that you can do? Give me a list of the things your police station could do. I ain't get the list yet. So I'm saying to you that they're acting very irresponsible because you say you are disciplined force. It can take a lot for me to be convinced of that. Maybe in name, you may be disciplined, but your actions show differently. People see what's going on. You have Miss Skippings say anything, call the police. Well, you called them. What are you supposed to do when they don't show up? I see how things get out of hand because people can only take so much. You see how frustrated the young man was who called in the show today?
Mm-hmm.
That is happening in many places all across the country.
Oh, that's a very high level of frustration. There's no doubt of that.
And that needs to be corrected. And the police force is the agency for the protection of the citizenry. If you can't do your job, then say so. But don't have me believing you could do it and knowing you can't do it. Every time I look at it, well, ain't nothing happening. So what the hell am I supposed to say? Say something happening? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie for them or say everything is okay. Maybe they did something in someone else's area.
Mm-hmm.
But where you are living and you got noise day and night around the clock, what are you supposed to do? That is a problem the police need to deal with. And if they don't deal with it, somebody will deal with it for them.
All right, we got to take a break. Wow. Okay. On the other side of the break, we even ain't get to the national.
No, we ain't get to that yet. We were on number 9. This is but 9.
How does it ready 319?
Oh, we better get there.
Yeah. On the other side of the break, I think we're going to dive back into this Nationality Act thing and resume the comparison with the Constitution and see where it takes us. All right? Okay, we'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global paradigm shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted loud.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this warm, my God, these some hot days, Monday afternoon. This is our masterclass Monday on the Constitution. My guest is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. So here's how you can become a part of this conversation. 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272 are the numbers to call. 8010271, 8010271 is the WhatsApp number. You can either call us or send a message on that number. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages, as well as on our YouTube channels. You can catch us on Educate Bahamians, channel 974. You can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. Or you can simply tune in by radio, 99.5 on the FM dial here in New Providence. And of course, a huge welcome to our Grand Bahama audience. So with all them options, you really ain't got no excuse.
That's right. Praise the Lord.
As to why you can't participate in this conversation today. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Good, and the professor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good, sir. Professor, I've never met you in person, but I follow you a lot, especially on Mondays or whenever you're sitting for Ms. Malcolm on the show. I must apologize to you. I was feeling a way towards you, but you've opened up my eyes to some things. Now I'm beginning to accept you a little differently. I say that to say, with this Constitution thing that you are going on with, let me ask you something. Before 1973, we were all British people, right?
No. When you say we were all, what you mean by that?
Before those of us who were born before 73, we were part of Britain. We were British subject.
No. When you say those of us who were born, who are you referring to?
The Bahamians, us, everybody. I'm talking to everybody. We just became Bahamians after 73, eh?
No, let me explain something to you.
See, before you go on, the reason I'm asking those questions, right? Because the other day I was driving home after my show and I tuned into another talk show. I ain't gonna call no name.
Yeah.
And the talk show host said, all residents of the Bahamas before July 10th, 1973 were British subjects. And I said,
you were listening to the same show.
Yeah, I know that's where you're going with this. And I said, why does man who stop misleading people? He was misleading people.
But I need a professor to tell me the right thing.
I can let him answer you right now. I had a feeling that's where you was coming from with this question. But go ahead, Professor. Straighten these people out, please. Because that man was clearly misleading people.
Well, so thanks for the question.
Talk to the mic now. Talk to the mic.
Thank you for the question, caller.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy that you're calling in relation to that. No, all who were living in the Bahamas were not British subjects. The thing is that those who became citizens of the Bahamas, how the country got started, you had to be born in the former colony, the Bahama Islands, Also, you had to be a citizen of the United Kingdom and colonies. Number 3, on July the 10th, 1973, those 2 qualifying standards. Born in the former colony, Bahama Islands.
Talk to the mic, Professor.
And a citizen of the United Kingdom and colonies. You, at that point in time, July the 10th, 1973, you can transfer your citizenship to the new country, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
But the bottom line is this, because this is where the call is going. The bottom line is this. If I was from a country that was not a part of the Commonwealth, but I'm living in the Bahamas.
Yeah, after July 10th, 19.
Right. Just because,
July 9th.
Right. Just because I was living in the Bahamas, does that make me a British subject? Even if I was from a country that was not a part of the British Commonwealth of Nations.
I can't answer that. But
no, I'm asking you. I'm asking the professor to answer that.
Okay.
No, but see, this is why.
Professor, talk to the mic. Don't, the person cannot see you, so talk to the mic.
Yeah, but this is why I said to him how the nation started. Okay? Now, not everybody in the Bahamas were necessarily a part of the British Commonwealth.
That's what he's trying to clarify.
Okay? Well, that's why I said to him.
All right, now let me. I know you have some more callers, so let me just ask you one more question, then I can go. So I'm a Bahamian. I'm from Auckland. I'm a Ferguson from Auckland. I am young and I'm mixed up. I straightforward. My granddaddy was a Reverend A.J. Ferguson. I straightforward. But what I wanted to know, those people who parents we had Haitians and Jamaicans here before 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But now, what would their children would have been automatically became Bahamians after independence?
No.
They still would not be Bahamians, even though they were here on July 10th.
Remember now, see, this is where the mix-up people need to understand. You will have to be a member, either born in the Bahamas, like I said, in the former colony, Bahama Islands, a citizen of the United Kingdom and colonies. Okay?
No, what I'm saying, I understand that part, but my part is the Jamaicans had a child here in the Bahamas. He was born here.
But the Jamaicans are different than the Haitians because the Jamaicans were part of that British.
Now,
you see the difference?
Let me explain something there.
Okay.
You see the difference, caller?
The Turks Islanders would have fallen in line with us too.
They still under British rule, so yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying they would have fallen. Okay.
Yeah, but caller, there's one thing you may understand.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica was not a British colony at the time we became an independent nation. Jamaica was already an independent nation,
okay.
So they don't qualify.
Okay.
This is where this whole mix-up
so
got all
I was
confused.
right, Ms. Malcolm. I was right with my question when I asked if the Jamaicans had a child here in the Bahamas, if that child automatically becomes a Bahamian after July 10th.
No, the answer is no. Because, see, they're already an independent nation. So they don't qualify as no colony.
When did they receive their independence?
1960.
1960, okay.
So the Constitution specifically talks about the United Kingdom and colonies. At the time we became an independent nation,
well,
Jamaica was not.
I'm glad you cleared it up for me, so I have a little more clear understanding on it, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
Because like me and Ms. Malcolm started listening to the same evening show, so I was a little bothered about it, and I said, I was waiting for you to come on today.
Yes, sir.
And I missed the number, so I had to wait till you. And Ms. Malcolm, please repeat your number a little more often for us, ma'am.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, ma'am?
All right.
Appreciate it. Good show.
Thanks for calling.
Let me just say, Bahamians, you're going to find that there's so much misinformation out there by personalities who ought to know better or claiming to know better, but it's a whole lot of misinformation and it confuses the public. So you have to be careful who you listen to and who you're relying on for accurate and precise information, because there are many fraudsters out there. And I'm just disgusted with all the misunderstanding and the lack of the lack of solid information, even from personalities who are supposed to be trained. That is very disappointing. But that is something you have to live with. Okay? So you have to be careful who you're listening to, and you have to find the correct source so you could have the correct information.
Okay. So hopefully that answered the question for
Yeah,
the caller. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, wow. I think when we stopped with the Nationality Act, we finished with 9.
We finished with 9. Okay.
I do believe so. And let me just read over 9 real quick, and then that'll refresh our memory. But I'm pretty sure we're done with 9. And we're getting ready to move on to part 3, loss of citizenship under the Nationality Act. But I'll go ahead and read 9 again.
Okay.
Now, this is not the Constitution. This is the Bahamas Nationality Act that I'm reading from. Number 9, Article 9, which relates to naturalization of aliens, says the minister may, at his discretion, if application is made to him for naturalization in the prescribed manner by an alien of full age and capacity who satisfies him that he is qualified under the provisions of second schedule, grant to him, we dealt with this, a certificate of naturalization, and a person to whom such a certificate is granted shall, on taking the oath of allegiance in the form prescribed in the third schedule, because remember you were asking about what is the second and third schedule, be a citizen of the Bahamas by naturalization as from the date on which the certificate was granted, provided that no certificate of naturalization shall be granted under this section to any person unless he first renounces any of the citizenship, we've dealt with this, that he may possess, or in the case of a person who cannot renounce his citizenship of some of the country under the laws of the country, he makes instead such declaration concerning that citizenship as may be prescribed. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Lady Malcolm, and good afternoon to Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, all the Christian names.
Good afternoon.
Listen, I don't have to go behind you and the professor today because you all got that on lock. I only called to say one thing. We can clear this up in a minute. Even with my broke leg, I been happy, and I put my money on the account to acquire to get our lawyers. That's all I called to say. And the rest of y'all, go put your money, get your lawyer. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Professor, maybe you need to tell the resident what account he's talking about.
Yes.
Remind people.
I would say it. This account has to deal with the matter that is being taken before the court, starting at the Supreme Court level.
Right.
I don't remember the name of the account number. I don't have those information in front of me.
Okay.
But this is an account that has been established. Steve McKinney and Blackmail, myself. There's one also in Freeport, one for persons who are going to be donating internationally. But it's at the Bank of the Bahamas. And the thing is that we're asking the public to make a contribution because we have to take the government of the Bahamas to court. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
All right? On the same issue about citizenship, because we have hard evidence to prove that the government is completely wrong. And hopefully they will listen before it gets all the way to Privy Council, but we don't know. But we have to start now to be able to deal with this issue because the government of the Bahamas right now, through Immigration Department and the Ministry of Immigration, isn't listening, is not following the Constitution. That is a major problem. Just like what the minister did recently, he's not constitutionally sound. That is a big hole in the government's program. They're not going to get away with that. I don't care how they try to beat around the bush and say the minister didn't do anything wrong. The minister is dead wrong. He's completely out of law. And that's why I say, I challenge him. Name the article in the Constitution where the Haitian man and his wife and his 2 daughters or 2 children were made citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Where's the article? Where's the proof? We examined every single one of those citizenship articles.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned Article 6 in one of his comments, the Minister of Immigration.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not so at all. That has to do with the single fathers.
Right.
This man ain't no single father, and he ain't no Bahamian
Mm-hmm.
to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking the public to donate to this account at the Bank of the Bahamas. I don't remember the name, but they can go there and let them know that they're bringing this donation to go to the fund that we have established there for the purpose of dealing with the legal requirements.
So in other words, you're taking this thing seriously. You ain't just talking.
Oh, we're
to
taking
yourself.
very seriously. We have to, because our future is at stake. The future of this country is at stake.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot just sit back, even though we're on radio, this station and also Steve McKinney's station, Peace Radio. They're the only 2 radio
Professor, don't
stations.
get me in trouble with the people who own this station, please. Don't be calling nobody else station on this radio station, please.
Okay, all right. Let me withdraw that then. Let me withdraw that.
That's the competition. You
All
know,
right, okay.
Can't be promoting the
Well,
competition.
for purposes of this exercise, that the caller called in.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
But if that's how it is, fine. I withdraw that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we need the support of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And to make this thing work, that's why we seek for those contributions.
Okay. So without, because I know you didn't come expecting to discuss that. So the person just go Bank of the Bahamas and say they want to make contribution to the
account.
constitutional
Yeah.
reform account, and they should be able to look it up and figure out what they're talking about.
That's
Bank
right.
of the Bahamas. Okay. All right. So we are again looking at the Nationality Act in comparison to the Constitution of the Bahamas, and where we left off at the last time we dealt with this was bringing to a close part 2 of the Bahamas Nationality Act. Part 3 deals with loss of citizenship.
Yes.
Renunciation of citizenship. What else does this say this deals with? So deprivation of citizenship, etc. So
that's correct.
Let's deal with as much as we can, because we only got 20 minutes left in the show. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow, my time really flies.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go as far as we can, because I have to take at least one more break. All right, so Article 10, and again, I'm reading from the Bahamas Nationality Act. Part 3 begins with Article 10, and this whole section of Part 3 deals with loss of citizenship. Article 10 of the Bahamas Nationality Act says, if any citizen of the Bahamas of full age and capacity who is or intends to become a citizen of any country mentioned in the first schedule, or B, a national of a foreign country, makes in the prescribed manner a declaration of renunciation of citizenship of the Bahamas, the minister shall cause the declaration to be registered, and upon such registration, that person shall cease to be a citizen of the Bahamas, but the minister may, at his discretion, withhold registration of any such declaration if it is made during any war in which the Bahamas is engaged by a person who is or intends to become a national of a foreign country. That's what Article 10 says.
Yes.
Of the Nationality Act. How does that compare to what the
Constitution says something totally different from that.
Okay.
Because see, the thing is, if a person intends to become a citizen of another country,
mm-hmm.
who is a Bahamian citizen, that individual can make the declaration.
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't cease to be a citizen at the point when he makes the declaration. He
Mhm.
has a period of time. I think it's about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, where if he doesn't become a citizen of that other country, this is in the Constitution now, not this
Right.
other nonsense they have.
I'm trying to pull up the Constitution right now, but go
Yes.
ahead.
And the thing is that if within that period of time he changes his mind, it would be as if he had not made that declaration to begin with at all, period.
Mm.
Okay? But if he decides within that period of time he goes ahead with it, well, then fine. So what the founding fathers wanted to do was to give the Bahamian citizen, maybe he may have had some problems, and it gives him time to think about what he did. And if within that 6-month period of time he can change his mind, it would be as if still be a citizen of the Bahamas.
Right.
But if he decides he wants to go ahead with it, then he could do so.
That's what the Constitution
The Constitution
says.
says that, yes. But that's not in this thing what we got here.
No.
All right? And it says nothing about no minister. It has to do with the Governor General. Okay? Because there's an entire section in there that deals, I think it's, I'm not sure the article, because I don't have it before me. But the Governor General deals with the revoking of citizenship of any Bahamian from July the 10th, 1973, right on up to now. That comes under his jurisdiction, not the immigration minister.
Okay.
So these are the kind of things which cause all kinds of controversies, okay? Because the minister is taking on to himself powers that he never had. It was never given to him. Not under the Constitution. You'll see that in the Constitution. Say nothing about no minister. The Governor General. But the citizen would have 6 months. And within that 6-month period, he decides as if he's not going any further with it. It would be as if that declaration was never, ever made in the first place. So that is squashed. And he remains a citizen. He doesn't cease to be a citizen. He is intending to become a citizen of that particular country. All right? But if he decides he wants to go ahead with it, he can do so.
Okay. I think that is found under Chapter 2 of the Constitution.
Yeah, Chapter 2, yes.
Which deals with citizenship, and that would be Article 12, it looks like, renunciation of citizenship.
Yes.
Under the Constitution. So once again, we see where the two do not necessarily meet.
Then they don't agree. They don't meet. It's clearly evident they don't. The Nationality Act saying one thing about the minister having all this power, which is unconstitutional. And the Constitution is saying something totally different. You see, so this is where the conflict comes in. And Parliament is responsible for that because they made this over 50 years ago. All right? And you can't say that's a mistake because this has been going on for 50 years.
Yeah. I'm looking at the article now from the Constitution, and it's quite clear. Goes into much detail.
Yes, ma'am.
About how one would renounce. It says any citizen of the Bahamas, I'm reading now from Article 12. Any citizen, and this is the Constitution I'm reading from, any citizen of the Bahamas who has attained the age of 21 years
yes.
and who A, is also a citizen or national of any other country, or B, intends to become a citizen or national of another country, shall be entitled to renounce his citizenship of the Bahamas by declaration made and registered in such manner as may be prescribed, provided that A, in the case of a person who is not a citizen or national of any other country at the date of registration of his declaration of renunciation,
yes.
if he does not become such a citizen or national within 6 months, it's just as you said, from the date of registration, he shall be and shall be deemed to have remained a citizen of the Bahamas notwithstanding the making and registration of his declaration and renunciation, and B, the right of any person to renounce his citizenship of the Bahamas during any period when the Bahamas is engaged in any war shall be subject to such exceptions or qualifications as may be prescribed in the interest of national security or public policy. That's 12. And then 13 says, still reading from the Constitution, Parliament may make provision for the acquisition of citizenship of the Bahamas by persons who do not become citizens of the Bahamas by virtue of the provision of this chapter. That was A. B, for depriving of his citizenship of the Bahamas any person who is a citizen of the Bahamas otherwise than by virtue of paragraphs 1 or 2 of Article 3 or Article 6 or 8 of this Constitution, or C, for the certification of citizenship of the Bahamas for persons who have acquired that citizenship and who desire such certification. All right. So obviously the two, once again, are at odds.
They are at odds. That is correct.
Lord of mercy. So for all these years, we have been dealing with two different documents that in many ways contradict each other.
No, the Constitution was being ignored right from the break.
Right.
They were dealing with this Nationality Act, where purportedly Parliament is giving all this authority to a minister. All right? And that's what they were working with all that time. All right? Instead of following what's in the Constitution, because the revocation of citizenship, there's a special article right there in the Constitution which speaks to the revocation, who can revoke citizenship of Bahamians. That is the Governor General. That's his authority.
You know, it causes one to wonder, and we can take a break as we wonder this, because of the closeness in dates of the Nationality Act and the Constitution when they were both brought into existence. It's just a matter of days between the two, eh?
That's correct.
You wonder then, why?
Why was the Nationality Act brought into existence?
Yes.
Because, see, July the 10th, 1973, the Constitution came into effect. The Nationality Act came into effect the same date, July the 10th, 1973.
So why?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think those who did it should be able to tell the Bahamian people.
Well, ain't too many more of them still alive.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get on the show one of them who is still alive.
Yeah, but they have an obligation too. Well, then now see, another thing what happens is because there are no written notes, this has been a major problem for us in the Bahamas because there are no written information what the founding fathers were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We can only go by what is documented in the Constitution itself. That's what I hammer in, because that's the supreme law. Now, you had some who would, excuse me, have been saying some other things on some other aspect of the Constitution, which they are now saying, and some people are taking that up. Now, I hear that, but I don't pay any attention to that.
Mm.
I go strictly by what's recorded in the document itself.
Mm.
That is going to stand. You can't come 50 years later when your memory is fading and you might forget some things. While I respect the founding fathers, we have to go by what's in the Constitution itself. Because see, when you despise your own Constitution, which is the supreme law, you can't take that lightly. What's written in there is written. Now, there's a way to change it if the Bahamian people want to change it. There's nothing difficult about that. Call a referendum, which they don't want to do. They won't call no referendum because they're afraid what may happen to them.
Okay, we got to take a break. Let's take this break, and then we'll see where we go on the other side. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global paradigm shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with mailboat US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Radio 99.5.
All right, Professor, we're back. Only 4 minutes left in the show.
Wow.
Time gone today. Real fast. And we only touch on the Nationality Act. Yeah.
Yes.
So when we pick up, God willing, next week, Monday, we will, let me keep this open to the page where we're going to start so I don't get confused as to where we were.
10 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would be
on renunciation.
Yeah. So we just covered 10A and B. So the next thing would be 11 because it's only 10A and B under 10 in the Nationality Act. So unless there's something more you wanted to add to that,
Okay.
Then when we come back, we could pick up at 11.
Okay.
Then we
very
come
nice.
back.
All right.
All right. So before we go, I just would like to extend huge thanks to all of you out there who would have sent me well wishes on my birthday yesterday. Got a lot of Facebook messages and WhatsApp messages and calls and just people, wishing me happy birthday, and I really appreciate that. And we did have a service yesterday morning at my church at 8 a.m. and I had invited a bunch of people, and I was very, very pleased with the number of persons who responded and showed up. I had about 18 to 20 people there, and enjoyed some breakfast after the service. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who would have extended any kind of well wishes. It's not every day that you turn 60.
That's right.
And
once in a lifetime.
My pastor been teasing me. He say, "Boy, welcome, welcome." I say, "Man, you ain't got to carry on like that." He say, "You need to go pick up your NIB card, because that one you got ain't gonna wait no more." Say you need to go get your senior citizen card. I say, "Man, Pastor, why you so?" He say, "You think I joking? You go try use the old one you got."
Yeah, they only give you one card. He
say, "Your new card right there waiting for you. Go pick up your 60-year-old card." Ah, boy, life is something else. Either you grow old or you die young.
That's right. One of the two.
One of the two.
Yes.
And I am blessed.
And thank God for that.
Thank God to have made it to 60, because I know a lot of people who didn't.
Too many.
A lot of people who ain't make it here. So I want to say thank you to the Lord above for keeping me these past 60 years.
Amen.
When I had sense and when I ain't had sense, the Lord kept me, thank God. And I would like to say, all of you out there, thank you to all of you who wish me well. And to those of you who don't, child, I on y'all run. At this point in my life, I could care less who don't like me or who I don't care. The older you get, the less you care. That's the truth.
Amen.
Some of the things people is run on with when I was in my 20s, oh God, I'd have been upset. Now? Child, please. I couldn't give. Anyway, I digress. Music playing. Time gotta go. Got this 4 o'clock. Professor, thank you, God willing. God spare life. We'll both be back here at the desk next week, Monday. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about lawlessness in Abaco. What going on over there? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Don't you miss that show. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests.